starting lineup, so I won't ask you for
Okay.
it. With Yogi being sort of new to the team, how much of the offense are you going to be running tonight in order to not overload him? Okay.
Very
Thank
little, very little. Just want to make it as simple as possible. Cousin's going to be playing a lot tonight, so it's going to be pretty generic, pretty simple. And we just got to play the game after the game. And that's why we worked on drive, kick, swing, of getting to the paint, making a play for your teammates. So we got to play that way tonight. And like I said, they don't know a lot of the playbook. We're going to need both guys tonight.
Thank you.
Tomer, you're up.
Hey Ty, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Who you guys have one or two guys I think in the injury report today? Do you have a starting lineup for us?
Yeah, Terrence Mann, Luke Kennard, Amir Coffey, Marcus Morris, and Zubac.
Okay, thank you. And in your history as a player, coach, like I know everyone says they don't look at seeding, they don't look at all that playoff matchup stuff, but like at what point do you sort of start keeping an eye on who's down there, who's with you in the 2, 3, 4 seed kind of thing?
I look at it a month out. I've been looking at it as of late, just trying to start preparing, for the teams we might possibly play, to have all their play calls down in my head and understand what they're trying to do, what they're looking for, what they're looking for out of timeouts and things like that. So I started about a week ago, and I'm just trying to prepare, just trying to see who we're going to play and kind of go from there. So you kind of do 2 or 3 teams, so that's why you got to get started early.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Miriam.
Hi, Ty. When to ask you about Zoo, he's playing every game here, and obviously, as he said himself, he doesn't have a whole lot of miles on him yet. But what do you say about a young guy like that? That he's ready and that he's kind of handling whatever load you guys give him.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, Miriam.
I just want to ask about Zoo. Zoo Watson his work ethic and sort of. Yeah.
Oh yeah. With Zoo, he wants to play every night, and that's great. And he has the Iron Man thing going, and he wants to play, he wants to compete. And I always mess with him like, Zoo, you gonna play tonight? He's the only time I don't play, coach, if you don't play me. So he's always willing to play, he's always going to compete, and he's young, so he wants to continue to keep getting better. And you love that about Zoo. He's gonna be on the floor every single night.
Thanks. Next to Law.
Hey Ty, how you feeling, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Man, I had to be like you. I had to take a pregame nap, and I didn't have to travel from Portland, so I can only imagine how you're actually feeling. But something interesting that Paul George was talking about as far as the improvement of the team defense was winning the small games, the margins, points in the paint, points off turnovers, fast breaks, transition, stuff like that. And I mean, you've seen this Grizzlies team before. They're number one in like all of those categories. So, I mean, how does that conversation happen? Because obviously you want to defend well, but like, how is that conversation where it's like you're pointing stuff out and you're saying, guys, we need to have attention to detail to these small things that add up?
Well, there's a lot of things throughout the course of the game, but, we always want to focus on ourselves. And I think the biggest thing for us is, like I said, having a defensive mindset to start, but rebounding the basketball is key, and then also just taking care of the basketball. This team thrives off turnovers, and if we turn the ball over, they're going to be off to the races a lot tonight. So just want to make sure we control the game, control the tempo, and make sure we just take care of the basketball is the biggest thing for me a lot.
Next, we'll go to Charlie Widows.
I'm unmuted now. Hey, Ty. Just to follow up on that Zoo question from before, how valuable are these young guys during the regular season who just bring energy and are available to play when you need them?
Very valuable. Amir Coffey's done a great job this year. Terrence Mann, Luke Kennard, Zoo. Pat's an older guy, but those guys have been, they stayed ready all year. They've been available all year, ready to play. And, with an older team, I think we might be the oldest team in the league right now. So with older guys, they're going to be out, they're going to miss games. And these young guys have really gotten a lot of experience and they're taking advantage of it.
Thanks.
Next, we'll go to Andrew.
Hey, good afternoon, Ty. When you guys played Memphis almost back-to-back in February, it was kind of like one of the rougher stretches of the year for this team. I felt like before the All-Star break, And can you almost do a compare contrast with kind of how far you guys have come in key areas since then, the areas you feel like you guys have come the farthest from the kind of way you were playing, not only against this matchup, but kind of pre-All-Star break?
Andrew, I think that second game that we played showed me a lot, just playing this team back to back and the way they beat us the first night to come out the second night. And our physicality on the defensive end, I thought was really key. I thought us attacking the paint, attacking the basket was key as well. So when you come out the first game and get punched in the mouth like we did, and to come out, the second game and produce the way we did, that showed me a lot. And, I just think from before All-Star break to now, just understanding who we are and, what we want to do defensively every night and how we want to play offensively. And I've been saying, PG and Kawhi have done a great job of just, leading that charge of just, offensively getting into the paint, making their teammates better, making plays for them teammates and themselves.
Thanks, Ty. We're going to give it just 1 second to zoom back in. There we go. And then next question, we'll go to Farbad.
Hey, Ty. Zoo's joked a little bit about how, he can shoot the ball. And one thing I was genuinely curious about is for players like him or even Rondo, how do they convince a coach, to start being able to spread the floor with him? Because the development of Rondo in that category has been so interesting, where it seems like players still give him the space, and yet he's been consistently knocking it down more and more. So how does that conversation go when, players try to prove that, they can play a little bit more than the roles that they've been playing for the first 5 or 6 years of their career?
Well, Zoo's been trying to convince me all year that he can shoot the three. So I might give him a chance tonight. Let's see what he can do tonight. We might throw one at him and see if he can make one. I see you up there, Joseph. Let's see if he can make one. He's been promoting it all year. So why not try it tonight?
For that, we have to go to Joseph next.
My question is, I'm just curious how confident you're feeling about all the pieces being able to fit together if the team only gets fully healthy when the playoffs start.
Oh, I feel confident. The biggest thing for me is, I always want to be prepared. I always want to have different lineups. I want to see who plays well together. I want to have rotations so we can tweak rotations when we need to. But that's not going to be the case. We have a lot of injuries. We understand that. So we just got to do, the best we can. And by having walkthroughs with guys who can't play, just so they're up to speed and understanding what we're trying to do going forward. And we know, guys are going to be out for a while. So we just got to take advantage, like I said, these last 12 games with shoot-arounds, practices, walkthroughs, and just make sure everybody's on the same page. And then when, once we get everybody healthy, then we got to just start, thinking about what we're going to do rotation-wise, who's going to play with who, and things like that. So, I'm excited for what this team has done. We've been great, next man up mentality, no excuses. And like I said, they've been competing every single night.
Thanks. Our last question goes to Cam.
Hey, Coach. When you talk about seeding, you mentioned earlier you look at you started about a week ago looking at seeding and teams that you might face in the playoffs. How deep are you going? You said about 2 or 3 teams, but that'll take you into the play-in tournament. How do you what do you think of the play-in tournament? And then how are you handling that process of looking at those teams?
Well, I'm not going to speak about the play-in tournament, but, I just think, we continue to keep playing the way we've been playing. I'm looking at us being 2 or 3 seed. So that means we're going to be locked in and playing a 6 or 7 seed. It's kind of how you look at it. But like I said, you never know. I just want to be prepared for when it does happen. We have a lot of time. And as a coach, you want to make sure your team is prepared. So that's the biggest thing for me. If I got to do 5 teams, that's okay. But we're gonna be prepared. We're going to be ready.
Thanks, Coach.